This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight it's game number 2 of the 3-game weekend series. We're in Kansas City, the I-70 series in interleague play. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals. Erica Weston is here. That's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and welcome to Cardinals baseball. The Cardinals right now, Al, getting sensational starting pitching.
They really are. They've had 18 consecutive shutout innings. Flaherty's on the mound tonight. He's going to take that string and keep on doing it. He's been striking out a ton, just like all the guys, getting good defense and a lot of run support. It's been fun lately.
Last 5 games, only 3 walks from the starters. Meanwhile, Jack Flaherty goes tonight. We know about a very good slider, and you talk about the highest missing percentage on fastballs in terms of the batters facing Jack Flaherty. His slider is second to none.
Yeah, his slider is very tight rotation, just enough to get it off the barrel of the bat, and he just goes out there and attacks people. One of the things, the reason why it's so good is because of his fastballs inside.
I-70 series, the Royals and the Cardinals. It's game number 2, and it's coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. The city of fountains, the city of Kansas City. The salsa has been out on this road trip, and Matt Carpenter has been hot. We've got baseball, and it comes your way next. And 40 this year at Kauffman Stadium. It's game number 2, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals. 90 degrees here in the middle of America. And along with Al Raboski and Erica Weston, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Great to have you along as we get you set for baseball, and you have a chance to watch one of the hottest hitters over a 50-game stretch in the history of Cardinals baseball. The first Cardinal with 24 or more home runs, 42 or more runs batted in, and a .339 plus average in a 50-game span since 1920. Stan didn't do it. Albert didn't do it. Matt Carpenter has done it.
It's been amazing to see him do it. You know, Edmonds, McGuire, Musial, they've all had great 50-game spans, and some of them featured more than 24 home runs. Some of them had more than 42 RBIs, some better than .339 average. But did any of them, including Albert, ever match Carpenter's exact number? And the answer is no.
Matt Carpenter, Yadier Molina, and Jose Martinez, followed by Marcell Ozuna, Paul DeJong, Jed Jerko, Harrison Bader, Kolten Wong, and Adolis Garcia. Danny Duffy started out this year 1-6. First 10 starts, his ERA was close to 7. Since then, 6-4, ERA around 3. So he's turned it around. He struggled at home, just 1 win this year at Kauffman Stadium. And a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Yeah, he's really pitched very well on the road this year. And as you said, just 1 victory that at home, and that came on July 20th. And what are they waiting for? This may be a little test. Now, Duffy has faced Carpenter. Carpenter's 0 for 7 against him, but the last time was in 16.
And there's a ball, and we are underway. Carpenter now with 32 home runs, and he's driven in 65 on the season. Overall, a .280 hitter. Shift on the right side of the infield. Home run number 32 last night, part of a 5-run second inning for the Cardinals.
This continues to slaughter the baseball. 6 home runs the last 7 games. would have thunk it back on May 15th when he was batting 140 that he'd be leading the National League in home runs and just incredible numbers offensively.
And that pitch taken a little bit low and outside. Cardinals with a 7-0 win last night. It's the 8th time the Royals have been shut out this year. Half of those by National League teams. Cubs, Reds, and the Cardinals have done that twice to Kansas City. Now he's got to come to him at 3 balls and 1 strike, and who knows, maybe number 33 coming up.
Well, Duffy is going to throw a lot of fastballs, and one of the criticisms is the fact that everything is up and down, nothing east and west. A lot of curveballs. That's what helped him a lot.
And Carpenter lifts a high fly ball out to left field. Gold Glover, former Platinum Gold Glove winner, and Alex Gordon with the catch in left field. Yadier Molina will be the batter. Ikea drive to success. Best winning percentage since the 14th of July, and the Cardinals are 14-9. Talking with Mike Schilt in the manager's office, Cardinals clubhouse today, and he said right now you just let guys play. There's not a lot to be said. We know that we have to push. Guys are doing their job. We let them go.
They're having fun the way they're playing. Good pitching. They've been scoring at a higher clip. The defense has really tightened up. Relief pitching has been exceptional.
Seeing that shot right there, that's the smoke from the grills just beyond the scoreboard in center. Come to KC, got to get a little barbecue. There's that smell in the air of barbecue here at the ballpark.
A lot of tailgate parties out there in the parking lot too.
Oh yeah. How about Yachty? A .288 average, 15 home runs, not taking any days off.
That's it. What is it, 19 straight games he's playing?
19 tonight. Puts it in play to third. Alcides Escobar, 2 down. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Gordon in left, Phillips in center, Herrera is in right. Along the infield, Escobar, Mondesi, Merrifield, O'Hearn, who served as the DH last night, and Salvador Perez is behind the plate. Outstanding left fielder, also an outstanding catcher. Salvador Perez leads all catchers in baseball. He's caught 51%. So keep that in mind if the Cardinals want to do some running either tonight or tomorrow afternoon. Jose Martinez, average has jumped to 298. Coincides with playing every day and being in the lineup, whether it be the DH or right fielder.
Well, it really works well being in the American League City, having the DH where the Cardinals can have their best offensive lineup and defensive lineup.
It's funny, I mean, Mike Schilt has been asked a lot about Martinez in right field. One of the things you got to consider is that he's played 10 years of professional baseball in the outfield, so it's not like he can't catch a fly ball.
And, you know, really when you think about it at first base, part of the problem was that a lot of the fielders weren't helping him out with their throws. Trying to learn a new position, and, you know, you got to make a more accurate throw when he was over there, and he was getting some errors, but it was complicated by the throws from the infielders.
I think sometimes the infield tried to be too perfect with Jose at first.
And, you know, sometimes you do that, and you do hold on a little longer and the ball will sail on you. So you're right about that.
There's a full count on Jose Martinez. Royals come into play 45 games under the 500 mark. That's a season high for them. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout of Jose Martinez. So 1-2-3 go the Cardinals here at the top of the first. Jack Flaherty, number 32 for St. Louis, toes the rubber when we come back. Five and 6. He had 6 scoreless innings. Previous start on this trip against Pittsburgh. Picked up a win.
Very impressed with him. You see his Hyundai pitch arsenal. 56% fastballs. That slider is such a key weapon for him. A lot of swing and misses with it. Very weak contact. And for a 22-year-old, he has really persevered very well.
Line up that he'll face. Merrifield at the top, then Alex Gordon, Salvador Perez, former Met Lucas Duda, then Herrera, Phillips, O'Hearn, Escobar, and Mondesi. So the Cardinals take game 1 7-0, and some of that was due in part to missed opportunities by the Royals last night. They were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, and they left 11 on.
Remember, they had a triple, triple leadoff triple, and couldn't score.
2 balls and no strikes, just off the plate with those first 2 pitches.
See the record of 5 and 6 for Flaherty, but he has gotten very little run support.
Inside, and it's 3-0.
Matter of fact, Flaherty has received 2 runs of support or less in 9 of his last 10 starts.
Three and 1. Mike Matheny was fired on July 14th. Since then, the Cardinals have gone 14-9 under Mike Schilt. Just a little bit of a different feeling around the ball club. Winning will do that.
Yeah, it does that and everything, but a lot of guys are a lot looser. I think revamping the bullpen has had a huge impact on this ball club, and a lot of guys have energized even some of the veteran players.
3-2, and he walked him. Leadoff walk. And the batter will be Alex Gordon. Cardinals defensively tonight around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Ozuna, Bader, and Garcia in the outfield. Jerko, DeYoung, Wong, and Carpenter on the infield. Yadier Molina behind the plate. Jairo Munoz was put on the disabled list. Been dealing with a sore wrist on this trip, and hurt that wrist last night on an awkward swing. So Patrick Wisdom has been called up.
Yeah, good for Patrick. Long time in the minor leagues. Remember, even taken off the 40-man roster a year ago.
Nearly 800 minor league games.
Got to pull for something like that. Remember, he hit 31 home runs in AAA a year ago and didn't get called up, and taken off the roster, exposed to other ball clubs, and nobody picked him up. And here he is in the big leagues for his first game tonight.
Merrifield a threat to steal at first base. Called back by Alex Gordon. 0-2 the count. There's a trickle-down effect when you have all the injuries with the big league club, and then you call up now what was the opening day starting five at Memphis, pitching-wise. You've got Garcia in right field. You got now Patrick Wisdom up. I mean, it's amazing the job that Stubby Clapp has done.
They continue to win down there, and they're first place again this year.
Now, they did have, I think at one point, like a 15-and-a-half game lead. So be tough to give that up. However, you get the idea. They still were winning with all the changes.
Last year they had all those changes, but Patrick Wisdom will be the 8th rookie to make his debut when he appears this season. Last year he had a lot of turnover, and yet they were 41 games over 500 at AAA.
That's amazing.
and a repeat performance this year.
1-2 strikes.
Scott Warman told me that when he was down doing some reports at Memphis, every player down there emphasized the fact that they love playing for Stubby Clapp.
Yeah, really a player's manager. I heard something interesting the other day. I did not realize, maybe you did. I was talking with Pop Warner on the flight here from Miami to Kansas City, and he said that he had scheduled visits, and he's now the bench coach for Mike Schilt, to where the managers and coaches do have an option of taking 5 days off and leaving the club if they wish to stay refreshed. And he was actually going to go down and take over for Stubby for a little bit. But that's something I think that is new to the club this year.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because it's a long, long season sometimes for those guys down there. And, you know, they got families sometimes that because kids in school that they have to do it. There's Pop there.
Those two very close, by the way, Mike Schilt and Pop Warner.
You know, managed different levels, you know, one above the other, and got into coordinating in the minor leagues.
And the 1-2. Double play ball right into the glove of Carpenter, and a double play.
Not much a base runner can do there, can he? Carpenter holding him on, so he'll take one step, and the line drive right at him, and Whitfield trying to get a secondary lead. He's caught in no man's land.
2 outs and nobody on. The batter, Salvador Perez. There's a look at Ned Yost. Took the Royals to the World Series in back-to-back years. Number of seasons with Milwaukee. So 2 outs and nobody on, and a ball to Perez.
Flaherty's still trying to just kind of get in sync right now. That double play really helped him out. I think after this half inning, he'll kind of regroup. Usually he walks about 3 batters per 9 innings, but the ability to strike out guys has been a big factor for him, and the swing and misses on that slider. And all is keyed up with throwing fastballs for strikes.
And the 2-0. Inside, 3 balls and no strikes. At some point, the Cardinals have to get Tyson Ross into a game. You think about these starters not going very deep. Ross provides coverage. Ponce de Leon with 3 innings last night, scoreless. Dakota Hudson has emerged out of the bullpen as well.
I think that's has allowed Mike Schilt to be very aggressive. There's a good slider there. It's allowed him to be very aggressive and sometimes take out starters very early because he has, you know, young starters from AAA or in that bullpen that cover multiple innings.
And the 3-2 pitch. Just missed on the outside corner. So 2 walks in the inning.
And I think what's happening here is, like I said, in in order to make that slider so effective, you got to be ahead with your fastball. You got to be throwing strikes there, and the ability of these young guys like Flaherty, Ponce de Leon, you know, have that ability to throw inside, and then that sets up the slider away.
And a strike to Lucas Duda.
Like an awful lot of breaking balls here in the first inning. As you can see, when he's ahead in the count, they only hit 170. Behind in the count, they're Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, Matt Carpenter.
There you go. He's in that conversation right now. 0-2. Lucas Duda has done a lot of damage for whatever reason in first innings. 3 of his 10 homers have been in the first inning. 16 driven in an average near 400. And the 0-2 pitch struck him out. First strikeout for Flaherty. Royals strand a runner. Coming up, Ozuna, DeYoung, and Jerko. No score. You're on your vacation. Take us with you. Fox Sports Go and stream the Cardinals wherever you go. Duffy in that first inning, 14 pitches, 7 of which were strikes. And he'll get Marcell Ozuna, Paul DeYoung, and Jed Jerko. Ozuna with a base hit into left on the first pitch. And we turn to Al Raboski's Toyota keys to the game.
This goes not only for Carpenter, but it goes for the entire ball club. Eat your salsa. It works for everybody. And also, you know, don't change a thing. Just keep on doing what you've been doing. It really is inspiring baseball. You look like you're having fun. You're winning, which is the only way to have the most fun in a game. But they're playing the game properly. You know, every aspect of the game, it seems like it's better. Scoring more runs, tightened up the defense. Starting pitching has been great. And also the bullpen has been spectacular.
There's Paul DeYoung out in front, pops it up on the infield. Mondesi under it to make the catch. DeYoung homered in inning number 2 last night, part of a 5-run inning for St. Louis. And with 1 out, Jed Jerko digs in.
Now, there were times earlier in the season you kind of looked at this team and you kind of wondered, well, how are they going to lose it? You know, the bullpen had its struggles. And then now you kind of sit there and you talk to them and they're going, well, we aren't sure how, but we know we're going to win it.
Feeling of confidence around the ball club, no doubt. And Jerko sends one out to center. And over to cut it off and make the catch, Phillips. He's got good speed in center field. Ozuna back to the bag, and it brings in Bader, who also homered last night.
About Bader, you know, he's hit .294 in his 52 starts. Not easy for young players to play off the bench. They're accustomed to playing every day, and when he's had a chance to start, he's been very impressive. And defensively, he's been just a showcase out there.
Bader homered on a 1-2 pitch in game 1. That was his 7th of the year. Also started a 2-out rally in that second inning. And the home run to left field for Bader last night. Stitches and all. A ball and a strike. This is the 25th straight game that a Royal 29 years old or younger has made a start. They've gone with a youth movement here in Kansas City, and that includes their pitching staff. Duffy is 29. That's kept in front by Perez.
Duffy's been around a while, and he will stay here, as he just, what was it, a year ago he signed a 5-year extension. 2-0 against the Cardinals. This is his 4th start in his career against St. Louis.
Big crowd. A lot of red in the seats. Royals fans out to celebrate the 1985 World Championship team. Some of the members of that ball club introduced before our first pitch tonight.
Yeah, you didn't like a little video of that 85 World Series.
That went right into the radio booth, I believe, with John Rooney and Rick Horton.
Ricky was diving under the table again.
Wouldn't be surprising if that was the case.
He got it after he picked it up off the floor.
I think behind them there's a hole in the wall. There's ball 4. Might have gone right between them. The 2-out walk. And the batter will be Kolten Wong. In his career, Danny Duffy's been very tough against left-handed batters. A .211 average. 9 home runs allowed. Right-handed batters 96 homers, and they've hit nearly .270 against him. So his first walk, and now Kolten Wong with runners at first and second.
Kolten's hit safely in 4 of 6 games, a .350 average since being activated from the DL. And what a difference it's been for him on the road. His first 34 games he hit 105. His last 18, .379.
That drops in for a strike. Cardinals talk about his front shoulder and facing a left-handed pitcher. Keep it in. Try to take the ball the other way.
You know, and that's it. If you're a pitcher, you don't want that front shoulder flying open, or a hitter.
It's it sharply to third. Escobar makes the play, and the Cardinals strand a pair. Midway through 2, and there's no score. Be his major league debut. Jairo Munoz placed on the 10-day DL. Right wrist injury. More on that. Let's check in with Erica.
Yeah, Patrick Wisdom finally got the call late last night. It was a long time coming for him, he said earlier today. It was late last night in Oklahoma City when he was with Memphis that he got the call. You know, Stubby Clapp has a really unique way of letting these guys know that they're getting the call. He said after the game, a long game in Oklahoma City, Clapp called him into the office to ask him if he needed a day off. He said no, and he had no idea what he was talking about. Stubby said, good, because you're going to the big leagues. He said he was speechless. He didn't know what to do or say, but of course this guy's in Memphis, doused him with water in the clubhouse, a greeting that Mike Shildt got as well after his first win when he took over with the St. Louis Cardinals. Of course, lots of familiar faces in the dugout for Wisdom here today. And of course, Mike Shildt did manage him for 2 seasons as well, Dan.
He is one of the more popular minor leaguers. We can say that without any hesitation. Very popular both between the white lines and away from the game. Guys are really pulling for him as many moves have been made the last couple of years. And as Al mentioned, he was bypassed with some of those moves, but now he makes a big league debut at some point. And another great story, Patrick Wisdom.
And Patrick, just to give you an idea, it was a key member of that PCL postseason all-star team at third base. He also was named Championship Series MVP. That 747 career minor league games over 7 minor league seasons. Supplemental first-round pick, 52nd overall back in June of 2012. So I think he's paid his dues.
Ryan O'Hearn, the DH last night. He's at first base here in game 2. Good breaking ball. Saw a lot of breaking balls in that first inning. Shift on the right side of the infield. Did go, nothing in 2.
Now he's got a good knuckle curve to go along with that slider, but you know, a lot of times you think of a pitcher establishing his fastball the first time through the order. Phillips is also, he came over from Milwaukee, was 2 for 2 with a home run against and 3 RBIs against Flaherty. So he was the only Royal that had any at bats against Jack.
Popped up, shallow left, and Jerko with the catch. 8-pitch inning for Jack Flaherty. Garcia, Carpenter, Molina coming up in the 3rd. Which is run by Bob Kendrick, located right here in Kansas City. Jackie Robinson, of course, broke the color barrier in 1947 as Garcia grounds to short and get him by a half step. But they started playing organized baseball in 1920, and then in 1960, the Negro Leagues, they were done because at that point baseball had integrated. Every team had an African American on their team. And in St. Louis, it began with the St. Louis Giants, which then became the St. Louis Stars. Cool Papa Bell, there's a statue outside of Busch Stadium of Cool Papa, was a pitcher and then hurt his arm, moved to the outfield. Still had a very good arm, but not one to be a pitcher anymore, and a switch hitter, and he could run. And in exhibition games against major league teams, Cool Papa Bell twice scored from first base on a bunt because those players were not used to seeing that kind of speed, that type of play. There's a ball.
Great story. He was a custodian at City Hall when they tracked him down when you were going to enter the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Artifacts and memorabilia been donated. About 95% of that from the players themselves or their families. So many baseballs have been donated by Geddy Lee, by the way, who is a autograph collector, the band Rush, and had a number of the Negro League players that had signed baseballs, and he donated that to Bob Kendrick, the president. He had a great perspective of things to me yesterday. He said, quote, celebration of the power of the human spirit to persevere and prevail. And that's what the Negro Leagues was all about, and wanting to keep their memories alive.
Bob Feller told me one time that in the off season he would put together an all-star team and play. They would barnstorm and play a Negro League all-star team, and he said we made more money then than I made during the regular season playing Major League Baseball.
Popped up to the left side. Will it get out of play? No. Escobar with the catch. Bob was telling me that Satchel Paige made a ton of money because he was one of, if not the main draw every time he pitched, and he would pitch nonstop. And so he negotiated portions of the gate, and so he made a pretty hefty price in terms of making money on Negro League games.
When I was in Tulsa, Satchel Paige was a figurehead pitching coach, but he never really hung out around us. He was always around the grounds crew. We felt more comfortable with them. So we really didn't have a chance to, or didn't talk to him as much, but got to know Buck O'Neill, who was kind of the face of the Negro League Museum. And
he started it.
And the man who signed Lou Brock. And, you know, to hear Buck and many of his stories rooming with Satchel Paige, it was very colorful.
Satchel was a two-time All-Star with the St. Louis Browns. Willie Wells, another one from the St. Louis Stars. Baseball Museum opened up in 1990, and if you go to NLBM.com, you can see all the great artifacts and memorabilia that they have displayed. Bob Kendrick is exceptional at promoting the players, the time, the effort, and the league itself. And a pitch in the dirt. And Molina pulls it foul.
Things about Duffy, they're saying he's throwing a lot more curveballs now, and it's really helped him. He had a real good stretch on the road where he was really good numbers, but he's just won one game at home.
And out of play. And Molina hits it in the air, right field, and a foul ball. A lot of red in the seats. Out in front, but fouled it back. 3-2 the count on Yadier Molina. And the 10th pitch of the at-bat is hit out to deep left. And it's off the bottom of the wall. This will be the third double in this series for Yadier Molina.
That's his 500th extra base hit of his career. So that's a milestone ball. I told him about that, and I'm kind of wondering if somebody wouldn't maybe call for that baseball. We were talking yesterday about Ray Surge, pitching coach for the Pirates, said anytime after 8 or 9 pitches, only trouble happens. And as you said, that was his 10th pitch and gets the extra base hit.
Jose Martinez struck out first time up. 0 for 1. This is where Duffy has been much better. Last 12 outings, the opposition hitting just .203 with runners in scoring position.
That double also ties Red Shadings for 7th place in the all-time Cardinal list.
Fouled back in a good cut. So the helmet there and the mask come off of Salvador Perez. Not sure if he was expecting a different pitch. 0-2 pitch.
You know, this is where Martinez has really excelled. 32 2-out RBIs.
Here's a 1-2. That's to the backstop, and not sure if Duffy and Perez are on the same page. It's the second pitch that he may have been a little crossed up on.
Well, this time, you know, normally they're going to go out after the first time. This time, you know for sure. Throws a fastball, and he was probably expecting the breaking ball, and that's why he couldn't catch it. Should be a pass ball, but when you're not expecting that fastball, it's not easy to always catch it. Could have a big bearing on this at bat, though.
2-2 the count. Molina, your runner at third base. Tapped up the third base line, and it's a base hit and an RBI. A 2-out infield hit, 1-0 Cardinals. And it winds up being a huge wild pitch in this inning.
And there he is, eating salsa. But getting him over to third base, like you said, just a wild pitch, and then just Swinging bunt comes down here. Surprised that Escobar didn't let it roll. It didn't look like it would go foul, but you knew it was a base hit if he picked it up in front of the bag.
And now it's Ozuna. It's either do or die, and he was not going to attempt to make the play, and so his other option, just let it roll.
Yeah.
And a fastball and a strike to Marcell Ozuna. 1-0 Cardinals on the RBI for Martinez. Number 66. Maybe the softest hit of his RBI this year. Ozuna, a base hit to left, first time up.
You saw Perez trying to tell Duffy to throw the ball up. Because he doesn't really have anything that goes in and out, he throws his fastballs up and his breaking balls down.
Two and two. See him hang one of those curveballs and let Ozuna do a little damage here. It's been a while since we've seen him go deep. The 2-2. And that's lifted in the air out to left center. One hops off the wall. Here comes Martinez. Ozuna to third. He is safe. What a slide. The run scores, and it's 2-0 Cardinals.
What got into Marcell there? I mean, obviously, a lot of times you'll stop with that double and you're happy you get an RBI, but he wanted that triple and challenged the defense, and it was his great slide going in there head first. Got the breaking ball, he lifts it right out there in the gap, out in left center, goes up against the wall. One hops, they get it back in quickly. Now watch this swipe, watch his left hand. Tries to tag the chest, the left hand gets into the base ahead of the tag.
You
no
could
question,
see
no
how
question.
he took the previous pitch, the curveball, kind of spit on it.
Yep.
You could see he was ready for it. What a slide with that left hand getting in there. 2-0 Cardinals. Here's Paul DeYoung.
So you get that pitch count up a little bit. One of the goals for the Cardinals is to get that starter out as quick as possible, get into the bullpen. What is the strength of the Cardinals right now is usually Achilles heel for most clubs. And that's long relief.
4 hits now for the Cardinals in a 2-0 lead. Duffy had 30 pitches here in this third inning. The 2-1. Out in front again and fouled back.
His at bat second time around are a little better. He's got a little idea what he's doing, what he's trying to do to you.
And DeYoung hits it out to deep left field over the head of Gordon. That's to the wall. Paulie on his way to second base. 3-0 Cardinals. And all this being done with 2 outs.
4 consecutive hits, 2 out hits. Off-speed pitch, looks like a changeup, just down and in. He gets that ball right there, and he's got that buggy whip action. He can get the extra base hits. Lucky that ball stayed in the ballpark.
Rich Hartsook is watching the ball game tonight. Recently a bit under the weather, but feeling better now, and We're going to see him at the ballpark very soon. And Rich, we're thinking about you tonight. Rich Hartsook. It's been some long nights for that man right there, number 22, Cal Eldred.
A good baseball man. And a real good person. And Simon Tachi's also in their minor league system. He's an assistant pitching coordinator. That was a big loss for the Cardinals. You know, pitching staff in the minor leagues. He was the Pacific Coast League or Texas League Coach of the Year last year.
And a strike to Jed Jerko. Fly to center. Outfield is deep. They are straight away. Double, infield hit, a triple, and a double. All done with 2 outs. That'll roll foul up the third base line. 3-0 Cardinals. A win tonight. It would be their 5th consecutive series win.
Not a game left, but you know, that's where they're kind of thinking now. You know, play one game at a time. Do damage. Have fun.
Pitch number 35 of the inning right here. And the next to Jerko. Hung it, base hit into left. Here comes Paul DeYoung. No throw by Gordon. 5 consecutive hits with 2 outs. 4 runs here in the top of the third.
And 4 consecutive RBI hits. That's where Jerko's been at best with runners in scoring position. With limited play, he's 6th best in the National League.
Just hanging some of these breaking balls.
Oh yeah. Ball up there, it's got to be below the knees. Starts at when it's at the waist, they're going to put a swing on it. And the Cardinals have had some luck too. Little dribbler down the third base line. Some of these guys found in a hole, but there's been some hard hit balls also. Don't stop now.
Harrison Bader at the plate. Brian Flynn, left-handed pitcher, warming up in the Royals bullpen. And a 1-0 pitch now to Bader. This will be a tough play as well. Bader to first. They get him by a step as he slams down his helmet. A very good play there by Escobar. Big inning for the Cardinals with 2 outs, 5 consecutive base hits. Molina the double. Martinez infield hit. Ozuna a triple. DeYoung a double. Jerko a single. 4-0 St. Louis. Cardinals with a 4-0 lead. Washington defeated the Cubs today 9-4 at Wrigley. John Lester took that loss. He's now 12-5. And what do you know, Jack Flaherty has a little run support tonight, something that we talked about Matt Hungarian that he was not getting here recently. Only the second start that Jack has received. More than 2 runs of support since all the way back on the 11th of June.
Well, he did get a lot of support one day in Chicago. Cardinals had that 18-run game. He started that one. But you're right, either 2 runs or less in what, 9 of the last 10. Because the Cardinal starters are in a little roll right now. They're throwing 18 consecutive shutout innings.
There's Alcides Escobar. For a while, he was baseball's Iron Man. Nearly 500 consecutive games played and a base hit into right field. First hit of the night for Kansas City. MLB at bat, your #1 Cardinals app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Home screen icons, features such as the MLB.TV game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, and more. Download MLB at bat today. Brings in Mondesi with nobody out and a runner at first. A warm day and a warm night here in Kansas City. Royals a record of 35-80. Baltimore is 35-81. So Kansas City a half game back of the Orioles for the worst record. And I realize baseball's an odd game, and any given night a team can pull off the quote-unquote upset, if you will, against a team that's favored. But at this time of year, when you're pushing kind of series, you would hope the Cardinals at least take 2 of 3. Hard to sweep on the road, but a lesser team, you'd like to see 2 out of 3.
And you're in that situation where you have to, and with the fact that the Royals are 16-40 at home. You won the first game. You got a lead now. Of course, you can't play tomorrow until tomorrow's game, but you've got to push, win this game, and then have fun tomorrow and have the sweep.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Mondesi, kept in front by Molina. There are times when you watch Yadier Molina, not only does he block the ball, but it's kind of like a goaltender in hockey where they make sure that the ricochet and the bounce off the body is softened to keep it in front, like that. In that particular case, Escobar nowhere to go.
Right. And Yadi playing his 19th straight game. That's a major league record. Major league record for someone 35 or older. He's 36. And prior to this streak for Yadi, it was Benji Molina who had the record at 8. We heard a year ago, I trained for 150 games, or I trained for every day, and he's right. He's right. And his offense just keeps on getting better.
And the 2-2 pitch. Got him. Strikeout number 3 for Jack Flaherty.
You see the high fastball that it's up around your eyes and you see it well, but you can't. You're going to swing and miss most time. Best thing you do is pop it up.
One thing that Mike Schilt has done is shown video before every game. He brings a team in. They go over things that maybe they could do differently with alignment on a relay, various plays, baseball plays that you talk about all the time. And then they always show something positive. that maybe doesn't show up in the box score to reinforce, hey, we like what's going on here. We like the energy, the hustle. I would have to think that maybe top of his list right now, the speed and the burners turned on by Marcell Ozuna. Chancy play with 2 outs, but turned that into a triple.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised that he wanted the triple.
Don't like to make that last out at third, but he took a chance and it paid off.
And he didn't.
Oh, 1 pitch. But we were talking about it driving home to the team hotel last night after the game. It's a different feel. Club's playing well, which is number one, and that certainly helps, but it just seems to be a different feel with the club all over the place. Winning will do that.
Oh, it does.
And a ground ball that's hit to short. 6-4, 3 on the double play. The turn by Wong, and he's coming up when we come back. Our armed forces. This year we highlight soldiers for the Missouri National Guard 35th Engineer Brigade in Kuwait. This one's for you. August 15th on Fox Sports Midwest. Kolten Wong, Adolis Garcia, and Matt Carpenter. Wong dropping down a bunt. Duffy spins and makes the play.
It's a very good fielding ball club, and tries it, just didn't get it down the first base line far enough away from the pitcher. But the Royals are playing in their, they've had 10 errorless games, and they've only committed 53 errors on the season. Conversely, the Cardinals 89.
Adolis Garcia picked up a bloop single last night, first ever major league hit. It's now 96 1/3 innings without an error for the Royals, and here it was last night, a moment he'll never forget. A bloop hit, first ever in the big leagues.
Like a line drive in the box score today.
May beat this one out. He can really run, and they get him by step.
You mentioned Escobar. He was always noted as very, very good fielder. Had that 421 game streak, Ironman streak. Ended this year where They went to him. Ed Yost said, you know, it's going to stop at some point, and you probably the rest of your career you're going to be a utility guy, and he just made 2 great plays in this game already.
4 pitches and 2 outs. Now Carpenter, who is 0 for 2, flied to left and popped out to third. Strike 1. Royals pitching has allowed 154 home runs this year, 4th most in the major leagues. Conversely, the Cardinals have allowed the fewest home runs. As we know, a lot of that damage done by the man at the plate, Matt Carpenter.
Something the Royals just don't have a lot of power either.
Carpenter trying to make it 29 straight games tonight, reaching base safely. His numbers during this streak. Look at the average. Wow. That's basically a month's worth of games.
He's had a little trouble figuring out Duffy. 0 for 2 tonight, 0 for 9 in his career against him. I wouldn't bet against him though. We'll get some salsa in between the bats.
Between pitches. Outside. And a 3-2 pitch now to Carpenter. Struck him out. 10-pitch inning for Danny Duffy. 4-0 midway through 4. Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer close to home. Try something different like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls, only at Jack in the Box for a limited time. And by Toyota, let's go places. It's known as the Little K, located just outside the left field wall here at Kauffman Stadium and beyond the Royals Hall of Fame.
See, that little guy had 2 haps of jerseys, had Molina on one side and Perez on the other.
Probably couldn't go wrong with either one.
Nope.
Here's Alex Gordon. Lined into a double play.
Number was 43, 4 for Yachty, and the 3 for the 13 for Perez.
41 pitches on the night for Flaherty. 2 balls and no strikes.
He's pitching behind an awful lot today.
Also showed his breaking stuff in the first inning, and you know, a lot of times you see that now in this day and age, but you do show the opposition what you have.
Such a good point, Danny, that decades ago you would go out there, if you're getting them out with your fastball or your sinker, you just kept on throwing, and you would keep your weapon. You know, you keep your best pitch hidden until you needed it. You know, when the game was on the line, guys on base and everything. And now, you know, even in spring training, guys will come out the first pitch of spring training and throw a curveball or whatever their pitch is. Used to be pitchers in spring training with first 3, sometimes 4, even starters. They would throw nothing but fastballs, just getting their arm strength and build up their fastball command. And that's something that we rarely talk about, a pitcher having fastball command, how important it is.
2-2 the count. Gordon here, then Perez and Lucas Duda. Those that follow the Royals say slowly but surely. Alex Gordon getting back to the player that they remember offensively. Always a very top tier defender in left. Changed his stance a little bit, how he holds the bat. Full count.
A year ago he hit 208. Give you an idea of what you're talking about, getting back to being always been a premier defensive player. Sweep to it, not attacking the ball, you know, with it being aggressive, using the wrist, forearms.
9th pitch of the at bat, and it's a walk. "2018 marks the 25th anniversary of the movie The Sandlot, and on Tuesday, August 14th, the Cardinals are celebrating this baseball classic. Purchase of a special themed ticket, you can choose between a Cardinals ham bobblehead or a Cardinals squints bobblehead. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The 3rd walk for Flaherty.
I would venture to say all 3 have come the 4th pitch or the 4th ball in the at bat on that slider.
Yeah.
That's pulled foul.
And we're talking about that slider is so much more effective, you know, when you're ahead in the count. There was a slider there first pitch. People are looking for it now because they've seen so many of them. He has thrown changeups, thrown some knuckle curves, but need to throw that fastball just to, you know, maintain the velocity.
Cardinals have turned a pair of double plays tonight. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Redbirds will finish up the road trip tomorrow and head back home Monday night against Washington. Big series coming up with the Nationals. Up and in, 2-1.
Like I say, he has that ability to pitch inside, but if he's ahead in the count and he throws that pitch inside and then throws the slider, then you get guys to swing and miss because they're not diving across the plate.
2-1 pitch. 2-2. 4-game series with the Nationals beginning on Monday. Max Scherzer will pitch tomorrow for Washington, so the Cardinals miss him.
Darn. As a fan, I want to see him.
If I was a Cardinal hitter, I would not.
Exactly. But what a treat. What a treasure.
2-2 is tap foul. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
He's on his way.
Multiple Cy Youngs. He's done it in both leagues. Racking up a ton of strikeouts. Durability has been there for the most part. Ball clubs that have gone into postseason play. The 2-2 pitch to Salvador Perez. Got him. Strikeout number 4 for Flaherty.
Good fastball this time down and away.
Fewest home runs allowed, the Kubota power stats. Cardinal pitching 102. Then Houston, San Francisco, the Phillies, and Tampa Bay.
Flaherty came into this action with 138 strikeouts in his first 24 career games, the most ever by a Cardinal.
And you think about it, he's just getting going.
He's 22 years of age. Turned 23 until mid-October.
How good might he get? How good can he be?
4 years ago, he was in high school.
One out and a runner at first. That's Alex Gordon. 0-1 pitch to Duda. And we've seen at times he's got that edge to him, that fire. You know, sometimes it comes out visibly. You can see it. Nothing wrong with that.
No. You know, I've always said, you know, you can teach a fiery personality how to calm down. But if someone doesn't have that fire, you can't create it, can't burn it. It just doesn't have it.
Inside, 2-1.
I said, you know, I love the fact that he pitches inside, both sides of the plate.
The 2-1 pitch. Lifted in the air. Center. DeYoung.
And Flaherty right now has 100 innings, and he's only allowed 74 hits.
A couple times he's been victimized with a long ball at the wrong time. And you mentioned the lack of run support, but I mean, I'm not sure you can expect much better than what he's given the Cardinals.
I mean, he's allowed 14 home runs. You're right. He's been hurt a couple times, but only because he's got a little run support. But he is learning, and getting better and better.
I asked Mike Schilt the other day with Gomber and Flaherty and some of the others, Luke Weaver, if there's an internal innings count that the club would like to see for some of these young pitchers, and he said no. He said at this point, we let him go, and that's misplayed, it looked like, by Carpenter.
Yep. That's an error on Carpenter. Quick feet, very athletic, gets that ball right there, and Carpenter just boxes it. We saw a lot of that when he first started playing first base. At times it didn't seem like he was anticipating the possibility, but much better. And I'm sure he'd be kicking himself right now, but 2 outs, get the hitter.
Want to know the count on Herrera with 2 outs and a runner at second base. One and one. Room on the left side of the infield as Jerko is even with the bag. And DeYoung trying to keep Gordon close at second base. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And the 2-1 is a diving stop by Wong. What a play, Kolten Wong. Takes a hit away from Herrera. Keeps the Royals off the board. The diving stop by Wong to his left. Outstanding. 4-0 St. Louis. The Cardinals had the first two retired. Garcia grounded out to short. Carpenter popped out. And then it was a double by Yadier Molina, and that started a string of 5 consecutive hits. And the Cardinals picked up 4 runs in that inning. And they have the lead 4-0. We're in the top of the 5th. Danny Duffy on the mound for Kansas City, their starter. That's pitch number 75. How about Yachty? The average up to 290 now.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
0-2. Nothing in 2.
One of the things we've been seeing offensively since the All-Star break is how much the Cardinals have cut down, their hitters cut down on the strikeouts. Only 3 here today.
And Molina serves it to short on a hop. Mondesi makes the play. On Sunday, September 9th, join gold medalist Jackie Joyner-Kersee for the Cardinals Care 6K to benefit area children. Enjoy an on-course slip and slide, finish on the field, dugout photos, race t-shirt, and stay for the post-race watch party. Register now, cardinals.com/6K. Martinez 1 for 2. RBI single on a slow roller hit up the third base line.
his average back up to 299.
And the 1-0 is hit foul and out of play.
He's hit over 350 on the road trip. Continues to hit the Royals pitching very well.
And that's pulled foul.
Right, you saw that hanging curveball.
Yeah.
See him right there going up. I missed it. I missed a pitch I could do damage with.
I mean, that's what we're seeing right now. He's just, you know, the changeup isn't there, which it used to be a good pitch for him,
Right.
and the curveball is rolling. It's got a big hump in it.
Yeah.
You know, does he have enough to put the Cardinal hitter away? In the air to right. Herrera with the catch. And there's 2 down.
Just look at Martinez right there when that catch was made. You know, it's harmless fly ball, pop up out to right field. He was halfway to second base, hustling his way on. Never embarrass yourself when you hustle.
2 outs and Ozuna. Been on base twice with a single to left. That was a hanging breaking ball.
You can see just that little walk around there going rope.
Now he can't wait to get in the box.
Yep.
He tripled back in the 3rd. And lines it to first, and the catch is made by O'Hearn. Still early, 4 innings into the ball game, but so far so good. Let's check in with Erica.
Dan, youth is in for the St. Louis Cardinals, especially in their starting rotation, which is essentially composed of 2 rookies, 2 really young and inexperienced starters, and a 29-year-old who could essentially be considered a rookie in many ways. That's, of course, Miles Michaelis, who's in his first season with the Cards, and he could be considered the elder statesman of the bunch now, though he doesn't see it that way.
I don't really look at it that way. I kind of look at it as, you know, we're just all, you know, not that experienced, and we're just kind of all bouncing ideas off each other and trying to tackle the situation as a group.
Youth are not, the starting rotation has only allowed 5 earned runs in the last 5 games. Of course, Birch Smith gave up 5 for the Cardinals in the 2nd inning last night, and they put up 4 on Danny Duffy tonight. Dan.
All right, Erica, thanks. Flaherty pitching here into the bottom of the 5th. Cardinals have not seen a run scored against them thus far in this series. Daniel Ponce de Leon, 3 scoreless last night. Gomber had 5. That's just outside to even it up at 2-2 on the batter, Brett Phillips.
Phillips kind of interesting. He came over from Milwaukee in a trade, but originally was with Houston.
And that's strikeout number 5.
And with Houston, went to Milwaukee in the Carlos Gonzalez deal with Hader and others, Mingo Santana. So he's been traded a couple times, but pretty good minor league credentials. I think it's also fair to say that Flaherty doesn't have his best stuff tonight either.
Here's Ryan O'Hearn. Chased a pitch up for strike 1. 4-0 Cardinals.
We're seeing more fastballs now as the game has evolved.
And the 0-1. It's sharply past Carpenter and into right field. Garcia cuts it off. And look at the arm with that young man. And the throw is offline, but that does give you an idea the strength of the arm in right field with Adolis Garcia.
And, you know, all you have to do is be aggressively come up and fire that ball back in the infield. That'll stop a runner. But just a bad hop on Carpenter allows it to get out to Garcia, and he fires it back in quickly. As I said, a little bit offline, but you know that runner can't see that, and he's going to stop when he sees it get the ball back in so fast.
My understanding is that the word got out quickly this year, in particular at AAA. Not many teams were running it all on Adolis Garcia. The year before was when he built up that reputation.
Well, remember, you know, like Cardinals and the Royals both in the Pacific Coast League, so they get minor league reports on guys. Guys come up here and they got a pretty good idea of what they can and can't do.
With that throw, you keep the double play potentially in order here with Escobar at the plate. That's pulled foul.
The Cardinals are already turned 2 double plays behind Flaherty tonight.
For O'Hearn, who's at first base, that snapped an 0 for 16 run. So runner at first. 0-2 the count on Escobar, who singled into right field. That was back in the 3rd. And he hits one high in the air. Deep left field. Ozuna back at the wall, and it's gone. 4th home run for Alcides Escobar, and Kansas City's on the board.
Breaks a 20 1/3 consecutive shutout streak, scoreless streak by the opposition with this 2-run home run. Just the first row, but as you said, his 4th home run, and they're right back in the ballgame.
And it comes on an 0-2 pitch. 391 feet, the distance of the home run.
Go out to talk. He was ahead 0-2 and kind of tried to throw that fastball down and in. Didn't get it far enough in to set up. Sometimes young pitchers will think, okay, I'm going to throw this fastball in off the plate, and then I'll get him out, strike him out with that slider away. And you don't get to the slider away because you make a mistake on an 0-2 pitch in the strike zone.
The 1-0. Mondesi takes a ball, and it's 2-0. Struck out back in the third inning. 5 strikeouts by Jack Flaherty. He's allowed 3 hits, and moments ago the 2-run homer.
Even though he's given up 15 home runs, Danny, Flaherty has the 4th lowest ERA in the National League of Pitchers who allowed 15 or more this season. Scherzer's on that list, Stripling, Greinke, and Flaherty.
Kolten Wong, 2 outs. Join us for Cardinals Hall of Fame weekend. Next weekend, August 17th through the 19th, presented by Edward Jones. And we have the Dizzy Dean Hall of Fame Watch. That'll be Sunday, August 19th at cardinals.com/promotions. That's courtesy of AT&T. Week from today, and officially Harry Bakeen and Ray Langford and Vince Coleman will be officially inducted into the Cardinals Hall of Fame. Always a fun weekend. 0-2 on Whit Merrifield at the top of the lineup for the Royals. That's a good 0-2 pitch there.
Yeah.
See him get Merrifield to expand his zone just off the plate. The 1-2 pitch. That one catches the bottom of the zone. 2 strikeouts in the inning, and 6 tonight for Jack Flaherty. Ozuna 2 for 3 with a triple. Run batted in. Danny Duffy still in the ball game as we move to inning number 6. And Escobar, pair of hits, single to right, and a 2-run homer. Paul DeYoung with an RBI double back in the 3rd.
Starting to get his timing back. A lot better. That RBI was his 7th on the road trip.
One ball and 1 strike. I I would think that the way that Mike Schild has gone about his bullpen, maybe the Cardinals looking to get one more inning out of Jack Flaherty and then turn it over to the bullpen. We'll see. No one throwing for Kansas City.
And they're kind of stirring down there in the bullpen, so I think might have somebody go along with them with the idea of exactly what you're saying. If he gets a 6, that's it.
And DeYoung hits a high fly ball out to deep right field near the wall, and the catch is made by Herrera.
Bello Cooling and Heating, #1 rated. Call now for special offers. Bello, answer the bell.
Jed Jerko with a single to left. Run batted in. You just joined us. The Cardinals had 5 consecutive base hits in the second inning with 2 outs and scored 4 runs. That was in the third inning. Kansas City came back with 2 of their own. Alcides Escobar, his 4th home run, a 2-run shot. Two balls and no strikes. And there's a base hit. Jerko 2 for 3 on the night.
Watch him. Gets the ball up. He just jumps on it.
So 1 out single, and now Harrison Bader. Bader has walked and grounded out to third. A lot of his damage this year has been done against left-handed pitching. Cardinals love anytime a lefty is up. As Bader yanks it foul, that they can get Jerko and Bader back to back. 2 guys that have feasted on the lefties this year.
Got robbed by Escobar last time up. Sure, provide a little jump in the step of everyone with his energy.
Tardy with that swing. Nothing in 2. Beautiful ballpark, Kauffman Stadium, packed house tonight on this Saturday night in Kansas City. Temperatures have cooled a bit. Nightfall nearly upon us. And an 0-2 pitch now to Bader.
Get that breaking ball down, but he's left a few of them up, and as you said, rolling, and have that good bite to it.
Notice some of the 2-strike swings have been different for Bader. Now, if he's got a pitch to drive, he recognizes that, he'll jump on it. Some he may swing through, he may strike out, but you are seeing an approach of going to right field or trying to just put the ball in play.
I think that's a lot of it, Dan. Remember how many times did you say just put the ball in play? Good things can happen. That was back when we were striking out double figures consistently.
Think of the game that really got Bader's attention. He had a 4 strikeout day, I believe it was 4, at least 3 against Cincinnati with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. Did it twice.
Yeah.
but the point being, you know, he puts a ball in play, Cardinals probably win that game.
Well, especially and with his speed too.
Right. Two, and he runs the count full. So decision time here. If you're Mike Schilt, you're up by a couple of runs. Got a guy at the plate that is susceptible at times to striking out. You can see that Jose Oquendo just whistled down to Bader to get his attention. Not great speed at first base with Jed Jerka. We'll see if they want to start the runner. Jerko is running, and that pitch hammered foul.
Kind of like that, Mike Schilt. I don't think the percentages are that great that you could say that he's going to put the ball in play, but got a 2-run lead. You know, why not show a little confidence in him? Start the runner and hope for good things.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming up right here. And Bader hits it out to deep left. He's done it again. Back-to-back nights. And a home run for Bader. This time, a 2-run shot. Bader, number 8, to extend the Cardinals' lead.
Hanging breaking ball right there and top of the zone, and he knew what, recognized it, and keeps it fair. And Ned Yost looks like he's seen enough.
Ned Yost is about ready to get tossed. Danny Duffy will, and I'm sure that's coming up with the check swing.
Yep.
You know, talking about Bader. And now Duffy out of the game. He was coming out anyway, but he's going to get his money's worth, and so is Ned Yost more than likely.
Yeah, Tom Hallion, the crew chief, racing from third base trying to intercept Duffy. Well, that blown call didn't cause the hanging curveball, did it? Could have been a byproduct. Of course, he's saying they struck him out, but now it's getting stupid.
Kevin McCarthy coming on when we come back. 6-2 our score. So the new pitcher is Kevin McCarthy, first career ejection for Danny Duffy. And this is our Chevy call to the pen. After the home run hit by Bader, Cardinals have reclaimed a 4-run lead. It's now 6-2. They have 8 hits, out hit Kansas City 8-3 in this game. Wong is 0 for 2, but he's made the defensive play of the night, taking a hit away and also a run. A diving play and a ground ball to his left, just sensational.
McCarthy, a high ground ball percentage.
Back to him. Steps and throws. And there's 2 away. Adolis Garcia will be the batter. Over 2 tonight, grounded to short and grounded to third. Seen in his plate appearances thus far, and you can understand why. A little over anxious.
They got off to a real slow start this year at AAA, but July kind of turned it on. Cardinals minor league player of the year, or the month. He's also the PCL, Pacific Coast League player of the month. 10 home runs will do that for you, right?
Absolutely. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Pulled foul again, 1-2. He'll have his fair share of strikeouts. There's some holes in his swing, but he barrels one up. He's got very good power.
A lot of talent.
Good speed, big arm, good defender. And the 1-2. So Garcia and Randy Arozarena, they played a ton this spring. Regulars would play 3, maybe 4 or 5 innings. And then you'd see that next wave of talent come through.
I think, what, 2 years ago, you have all your manager, all your coaches, all your outfielders, all gone. You know, all the starting pitchers, because they're DL'd from 2 years ago. And you could see how Tommy Pham was getting traded, because you saw all those young outfielders on the way up. And then you had to create playing time for Bader and O'Neill. So it's really unfortunate O'Neill's on the DL. Missed that opportunity. And Munoz also.
And the count runs full. First base umpire, he's going to hear about it.
Adam Hamari.
Any check swing from here on out tonight. The 3-2 pitch. Strikeout of Garcia. Check swing on Harrison Bader. Did he go? Apparently not. That did, though. And bye-bye. 6-2. Well, Jack Flaherty now dealing with a 4-run lead again. It was 4-0, then 4-2, now 6-2. And we move to home half of the 6th. 82 pitches on the night. That'll help. Ground ball hit to short off the bat of Gordon. 1 away. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Dan, you know how extensive Cardinal Nation is and how many great fans we have. Well, we lost a very special one yesterday. Edwin Heeman, 99 years young, World War II veteran, never missed a ball game, passed away yesterday. So our deepest sympathies to a great Cardinal fan, and that's that loss for his family and friends.
Salvador Perez, and a strike. Line to short. Into the glove of Paul DeYoung for out number 2. Budweiser once on tap. Game 3 tomorrow. Luke Weaver, Jacob Junis. Luke coming off a very good performance last time out against Miami. Our Budweiser what's on tap will come your way at 12:30 with the pregame show. Lucas Duda 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop out. Good changeup that time.
Yeah. Hit the ball hard right at somebody. Has a real efficient inning here. He might get another, but you could understand why they take him out. I still think it's when you have 8 relievers, it's so difficult to keep all of them sharp.
I think we saw that a little bit with Daniel Ponce de Leon last night, at least initially. Hadn't pitched in 8 days.
Yeah, he didn't realize that he got his first major league save, the 3-inning save. He got his water shower. It's been fun watching the kids.
You bet. Here's a 1-2. Struck him out. And Jack Flaherty, 7-pitch, 6th inning. Coming up, Matt Carpenter, 6-2. Two outs, 3rd inning, 5 consecutive hits for the Cardinals. Added up to 4 runs and a 4-0 lead. Then they led 4-2, and now a 6-2 lead. Brian Flynn, a lefty in our Chevy Colt to the pen. Matt Carpenter is 0 for 3 tonight. Numbers on Flynn this year. Shift on the right side of the infield for Carpenter. A rare, quiet night, at least for the time being, for Carpenter. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Two and 0.
Flynn's a big guy, 6'7", 255. His third year with the Royals.
You would think if you're 6'7" and left-handed, you're going to get a lot of looks. Two-0 pitch. The 2-1 pitch.
How many times have we seen Carpenter do damage when he's ahead in the count like this?
You bet. You're thinking you're going to get a fastball. Let's see here. 3-2. Flynn, as big as he is, not an overpowering fastball. He'll hit 91 to 93.
I think he throws a lot of two-seamers, leading all relievers in double play balls.
3-2 pitch.
There it is.
And a leadoff walk. So the on-base streak of Carpenter continues.
Yeah. 29.
It brings in Yadier Molina. St. Louis's biggest office party is back. Don't miss BizDash. You can sign up right now. STLBizDash.com. Brought to you by Fox Sports Midwest. So 29 consecutive games now for Matt Carpenter reaching base. Molina is 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. .29 straight for the Cardinal leadoff man.
See if he can't throw a pitch to Yachty that's up a little bit. As I mentioned, he's already induced 15 double plays, lead all major league relievers.
Line foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody throwing in the Cardinals' pen. And that bottom of the 6th certainly helped out, I'm sure, the decision for Mike Schilt.
Yeah, it was like 8 pitches.
Talking with Mike before the game today and asking him about John Gant, who had set down 14 in a row and then decided to lift him, and he said it's still a feel thing. You know, you look at the analytics, you look at all those different ways to judge it. Throw up the line, and outstanding play by Mondesi to get the lead man and take a hit away from Yadier Molina.
Yeah, great play. Left side of this infield is pretty tough. And Escobar has made at least 2 really good plays at third base, and Mondesi with his range takes a hit away from Yachty here with a dive. Gets the force out at second. That was close, but then the throw was wide.
Jose Martinez, 1 for 3, run scored, run batted in tonight. What do you think? If you hold on to the game tonight, Molina's got to sit tomorrow. You don't have an off day on Monday.
I wouldn't bet against it.
I know.
I mean,
every time I think he's going to sit,
yeah,
he's in there.
You know, he had the off day on Thursday, and you know, I even talked to him about it today, and he just kind of smiled and said, yeah, it's amazing. I'll be in there again. Oh, called one. You hear the crowd. the appeal and rung up Martinez, first base umpire.
Cardinals come home for 7 ball games and no off days. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Jose Martinez. Instead of check on Molina, who maybe has a 2-step lead. Cardinals have tried hit and run with Jose Martinez at times.
He loves the ball up and on the inner half, but you know, being 6'7", Martinez himself does a good job of fouling off pitches that are down and away. That's where they're trying to go now.
Hit out of play. Well, 3-2 now with Molina, your runner at first base. They started the runner, doesn't matter, that's ball 4. 2 walks in the inning. Back in that 3rd inning, it was a triple hit by Marcell Ozuna. We take a look at it using StatCast AI, powered by AWS. Motoring around the bases to pick up that triple.
Single and a triple today.
Ozuna hits it sharply to 3rd, and a double play ball. Time to stretch. 6-2 St. Louis. We're in the bottom of the 7th, and it's 6-2 Cardinals. Flaherty's allowed just 3 hits. One of those a 2-run homer hit by Alcides Escobar, and that's been the only damage done. 6-2 our score.
And remember his last time out against Pittsburgh, 6 innings, shutout baseball, 3 hits allowed.
Longest outing for Flaherty, 7 2/3, back on May 20th.
He walked 1 that night, and he's walked 3 tonight. Both games he's had 7 strikeouts, but here he is in the 7th.
1 ball and 1 strike on Herrera.
And his activity in the Cardinal bullpen just beginning.
Dakota Hudson throwing in the Cardinals pen. Herrera has lined out to center and was robbed by Kolten Wong.
How good has Hudson been?
Terrific. Here's a 1-1 and a grounder pulled foul.
Well, Hudson's got what, 8 2/3 shutout innings with just 2 hits allowed.
And heavy sinker.
That just, you know, I mean, now you're starting to see that bullpen gel. You had 8 and 9 covered, but now you got that bridge the gap from the starter to the back end of the bullpen.
Think about some of the things that have happened in this game. We've gotten good starting pitching by Flaherty, the play by Kolten Wong defensively, Marcell Ozuna hustling to third for a triple. A lot of positives again tonight.
Yeah, the Cardinals committed so many errors, but yet they're very high on, you know, runs saved.
Harrison Bader, a 2-strike home run, his second in as many nights.
And I mean, what he has done defensively, you know, Long defensively, Carpenter, his hitting, and he hasn't, you know, he's contributed a walk, but haven't seen any dramatics yet from Carpenter. But don't forget the starting pitching sets the tone, and it's been very good for Mike Schultz.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Full count.
Close to a strike, but you really don't want that ball up that high.
Take it down low.
Yes, you will.
And another strikeout. That's 8 tonight for Jack Flaherty.
An off-speed pitch, a little fade to it.
And a high strike that time. Brent Phillips 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Out of play.
Flaherty's already had 2 games this year where he struck out 13 in each game. Got 8 on the night, 2 in the last 2 hitters, and he's ahead in the count here. 99 pitches on the night.
Little jam shot out to shallow left, but there's Paul DeYoung. Again, pitching in. Want to buy or sell tickets at the last minute? Get the StubHub app and you can grab 100% MLB verified tickets up until the first pitch. Sell your extras to another fan. Get the StubHub app today. StubHub, official partner of the Cardinals.
He's 22 years of age, but big and strong, and he's got over 100 pitches several times this year, including a 120 pitch outing where he struck out 13 against Philadelphia. And he got Milwaukee for 13 with 110 pitches.
And that's it. Out of play by Ryan O'Hearn. He'll check his bat. No cracks. 1 ball, 1 strike. If the Cardinals can hold on, they go to 7 games above the 500 mark. 2-2.
And this is the 7th time that Flaherty's gone over 100 pitches. High water mark is 8 games, isn't it?
Two pitch. See what Yachty has up his sleeve here on a 2-2. Struck him out on his final pitch of the night. 9 strikeouts for Jack Flaherty through 7. It's 6-2. Brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. What a night for Jack Flaherty. He'll exit with 9 strikeouts through 7. 6-2 our score. Second inning of work for the lefty Flynn, and he'll get Paul DeYoung. Flaherty was taking a little bit more off on his slider tonight than maybe we had seen in the past.
You know, a couple of those pitches last inning were like 82 to 84.
Mixed in a changeup occasionally tonight.
His knuckle curve is there for him. I love that.
Here's an 0-1 pitch.
You know, Dan, a lot of times we always talk about these young guys, they just follow Yachty's lead. And I always want him to sit there, talk to Yachty and understand why he calls those pitches. Because he's not always going to be there through your career. So get in his head, figure out what he's trying to do, get you to do, so you understand.
Strikeout of DeYoung. A pitcher, though, Alan, you know better than most, you got to have the conviction in the pitch.
Right,
and that's what he's putting down.
And that's why You know, with any other catcher, you're saying it's a suggestion, but they believe so much in Yachty. You know, where
Off the bat of Jed Jerko for out number 2.
because if you do not have a full conviction in the pitch, it's going to be a bad location. And sometimes I think guys go, well, he called it. Well, he didn't ask you to, hang it. Told you to, pull down on it, get it down around the knees, or, start it waist high and a curved ball or something, or get that slider on the outside part of the plate and break off the plate. Fastball in on the hands or up and away.
Harrison Bader, a home run tonight. And it is our Nissan drive of the game. A check swing that would have been strike 3. What happens next? 2-run homer. Danny Duffy would be ejected. That was 100 pitches for Duffy tonight. And another base hit for Harrison Bader into left. You see, the more playing time he's getting, the more locked in he's getting.
Sure, came in batting .294 and 52 starts. The second hit, also had a walk in this ball game. So once again, he's getting good hits good at bats off the left-handers.
Here's Kolten Wong with 2 outs and a runner at first. 6-2 our score. Bader certainly a threat to steal. Now you think about it, a lefty, sometimes that makes it a little bit more difficult to steal. However, he's 6'7", and the tell may be that he's slow to the plate.
Usually when you are that height, you are slow, lumbering, don't have a good move. Step off and throw over, but most of the time you're going to be, especially when you have a guy that throws the ball like Salvador Perez or Yadier Molina, you're stealing off the pitcher. See there, he slide steps to try and counteract a base stealer, but a lot of times when guys do that, they lose their command. Most of the time it produces the ball up. There he bounced it to home plate. You rush your throw, you don't have the same mechanics.
Hit down the left field line, but foul. To sell out tonight, 38,427, 38427. 2 strikes on the Cardinals second baseman. Throw down to first and Bader back in safely. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
A short hop and going towards the right side of the batter's box and watch him backhand it and fire down to first base.
Off his back foot too.
Yeah. Bounced it to first. Good pick there, but
2-2. Wong taps it out in front of the plate. Perez calling for it. Tough play. He makes it. That's not easy at all, and he made it look easy. That's why he's won 5 Gold Gloves. Plays of the game. The Cardinals starter tonight with 9 strikeouts. Over 100 pitches thrown and a chance to pick up his 2nd consecutive win on this trip. Jack Flaherty at the Budweiser plays of the game. I think the job for Mike Maddox has gotten a little bit easier as things have settled down.
Oh, I think he's loving seeing all these arms.
I would say, I would think so.
Here's another one of them, Dakota Hudson. It's our Chevy call to the bullpen. Look at that. 8 2/3 innings. He's only walked 1 and allowed 2 hits. And he was having a phenomenal season at AAA. Time of his promotion is 13 wins, led all minor league baseball, and we're tied for 2nd in Memphis Redbird history. 13-3, 2.50 ERA, allowed only 1 home run though, over 111 innings.
Take a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal. Very good sinker. By the way, Jack Flaherty with 9 strikeouts tonight. He now has struck out 7 or more in 5 straight. Longest active streak in the National League. And trails only Chris Sale of Boston, who has 9 of those games in a row.
And he's 22 years of age. Royals have 3 hits. Escobar has 2 of them, including the 2-run home run to get them on the board.
4-run lead, count of 3 balls and no strikes. 3-1. Up and in, and that's ball 4. So a leadoff walk, not what you want to see with that 4-run lead. Check in with Erica.
Hey Dan, I spoke with Dakota Hudson before yesterday's game about now being in relief in the bullpen. He says it's nice having a lot of other converted starters in the pen. He spoke mostly about Mike Myers and Bud Norris also converting from a starter role now on in relief. He says it's mostly about keeping your body ready without wasting bullets from your arm. Now Hudson isn't unfamiliar with coming out of the pen. He did it in college and in Class A ball as well, but he says in college, of course, it's not every day. It's about 4 to 5 games a week. But now he's got an idea of when he might come on in games. He also spoke about the advice that Mike Maddox gave him now that he's coming out of the bullpen. He kept it simple. Throw more strikes.
Well, working with those starters, you get an idea of how to warm up. That's certainly beneficial. And now the Cardinals checking out Hudson. Took one off his shin. And the first 2 have reached now for Kansas City here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, he's a ground ball pitcher, and he gets a ground ball and it goes right off the shin. His left leg bounces far enough away that he cannot get the batter. So 2 men on, and Yachty immediately calling for Chris Conroy to come out there and throw a couple pitches. I think he's trying to talk his way into staying.
Jordan Hicks now grabs a baseball and starts to get loose very quickly. Says he's all right.
All right, now get your triple play. Then you can put some ice on it. There's Jordan Hicks. Been a while. The 5th of August, last time we saw Jordan Hicks.
I think we've noticed with Hudson, whether I speak to him or other members of the media, very calm, very collected, not too high, not too low, very stoic.
I've just been impressed with all of them. Just,
I mean, these young guys have come up, yeah, and shown that. Now he's run into a little trouble here. The top of the lineup, Whit Merrifield, 4-run lead for the Cardinals. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. And a strike. There's your ground ball, but pulled foul. It's 96 with good sink.
He's still 23 years of age. 34th overall in the June 2016 draft, part of the supplemental first round. Raced through the minor league system.
The 0-2 pitch to third. Nice play by Jerko. The turn. Oh, what a double play. Jerko. The quickness of Wong over to Carpenter. Wow, that is a big league double play.
Even Jerko, you know, we're seeing getting more and more playing time. You know, you're seeing him play to the defensive level as he did last year when he was a qualifier for the Gold Glove. But there's a hard hit ball, which is part of the equation, and then he got a tough hop that he kind of lays back on a little bit off to the side. And Wong is so quick, almost hitting his glove and throwing. It almost reminds you of Ozzie Smith, the way Ozzie used to practice that drill, that you never thought it really touched the back of his glove. He just like caught it midair and threw it. He was so quick.
Jose Oquendo could still do that too.
Oh, sure. Watch Ozzie and Jose do it. It was a treat.
Here's Alex Gordon.
How about the job Ozzie's done with PGA?
Incredible. To be commended. Outreach program helped bring PGA Championship to Belle Reef Country Club in the 100th PGA, and by all accounts the crowds have just been sensational in St. Louis.
I said last night I didn't think we'd have this many fans here. I thought they were all at the PGA.
And you see it on TV. The broadcasters are raving about it. The players get done with their rounds. They talk about it. And this was back on Monday, practice rounds.
Practice rounds.
That place can get loud too, and Tigers in contention, which helps out as well.
Let's hope a great finish.
Let's face it, St. Louis, the region needed it. Something positive.
Well, it's been nothing but positive. You have to believe that golf will come back very quickly in St. Louis after this presentation.
2-2 the count.
The golfing community, Belle Reef, Mike Tucker and his staff, and all the members, what they've done, should be very proud. And all St. Louisans are.
And someone asked me for a ticket today, and I said, "Are you kidding me?" Place is packed. 2-2 pitch. Two outs and runners in scoring position. Gordon 5 for 29. We're in the bottom of the 8th. 6-2 Cardinals. They've turned 3 double plays tonight. Dakota Hudson in relief of Jack Flaherty. Struck out 9 through 7. 2-2. Missed in.
Last year when he was the Texas League Pitcher of the Year, he's rated as having the best slider. You know about his sinker.
And a 3-2 pitch. Gets through Molina. And it's ruled a ball, so the run will score. The walk to Gordon. That'll be the first run allowed by Dakota Hudson. It's a pass ball.
He couldn't believe it. And Mike Schilt out to talk to him. I'm sure he's going to sit there and go, we want to go get ice on it. Hicks will come in. He had pitched for a while. He needs to get some work.
In for St. Louis in our Chevy Colt to the pen. It's a 3-run lead for the Cardinals on this Saturday night. And the batter will be Salvador Perez.
Been pretty busy, hasn't he? Throwing those 100+ pitches.
He's got some rest, and you wonder what's in the tank tonight. Wow. That's 100 with real good movement.
That was 100 and it looked about 120. That's his 395th pitch. He's throwing 100 miles an hour faster.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Salvador Perez. That's pulled foul. 101 on the gun.
396. Chapman, Aroldis Chapman is second with just 171. And we used to think nobody could throw harder than him. Well, we found him.
Yep.
The 3 highest velocity pitches thrown in Major League Baseball this season. 2 of them at 105. 7 of the top highest 10.
And a strikeout of Perez. Molina gathers it to first. And the threat is through. A strikeout for Jordan Hicks. 6-3 as we head to the ninth on Fox Sports Midwest. of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. We're in the top of the ninth, and it's 6-3. Patrick Jacobs of Baldwin, Missouri. 11-year-old watching us tonight. Happy birthday to Patrick. Never misses a game. Adolis Garcia, the third inning of work for this left-hander Flynn of Kansas City. But Norris getting loose in the Cardinals' pen.
And they turn it into a save opportunity if the Cardinals don't score more.
One pitch to Garcia. Carpenter on deck, and then Yadier Molina. You just joined us. No home runs for Carpenter, but he has walked to extend his on-base streak to 29. Adolis is 0 for 3. Pair of groundouts and a strikeout. And Garcia hits it out of play.
A very slow start at AAA, but end up coming up here.
3-2 the count. And a ground ball left side. Gloved at third. 1 out.
Face it. Driving impaired affects lives.
Carpenter has flied to left. He has popped out to third, struck out looking in the fourth, and walked into seventh. Nolan Arenado was pulled from the game last night for the Rockies with a sore right shoulder. Did not start today. He was second in home runs behind Carpenter. Matt now with 32.
It's been a while since Arenado has hit a home run.
If the Cardinals can hold on tonight, they're within 5.5 of Chicago in the Central. Just hanging around. Everything going in the right direction. You know, you think about as a fan, or at least I do, you know, looking at the schedule and you say, well, there's Washington coming up and you've got this team you're trying to catch, and there's games left with the Dodgers and Colorado. Right now, there's a lot of teams saying, we don't want to face the Cardinals. This is a hot team. They're 3 outs away from winning their 5th consecutive series.
You're seeing the team firing on all cylinders.
Bullpen has come together. The starters, despite the fact they're very young, may not go deep into games. That was an exception tonight with Flaherty, but the bullpen taking shape. There's some weapons out there.
Yeah, and now you're seeing a more consistent offense. They're putting the ball in play. Their on-base percentage has gone up.
Carpenter. Ooh, nice play. It's short. Mondesi with the shift.
They can play some defense, can't they?
Oh, yeah. So one thing they talk about here with the Royals, a lot of young players, which does give the fan base some excitement, despite the fact it doesn't result in wins. but they play clean baseball and they can pick it. They've got good defenders.
Yeah, and then fans can envision what can happen down the road a few years if they can draft better. They're in competition with Baltimore right now for the #1 pick in the country next year's draft.
I mean, it's just not sloppy. You know, they lose because maybe they don't have enough offensively. Pitching could be in question too as Molina pops it up and foul. But it's not like they're throwing it all over the ballpark.
Right, right. Young guys getting valuable playing time. Ned Yost was here when they were, building this team that eventually was a winner in 15. Won the World Series and
winningest manager in Royals history. And his contract is up after this year.
doesn't seem to be too worried about it.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Molina, base hit into left. See, Perez wanted that away and got too much of the plate. Pulled for a base hit. Second hit of the night for Yadier Molina. The mystery BP pullover is coming up. That's Friday, August 17th. It's courtesy of Coca-Cola and the good folks at Schnucks. Think local, think Schnucks. Cardinals.com/promotions.
Cardinals haven't scored off of Flynn yet in his third inning of work.
Jose Martinez 1 for 3. Martinez, a drive, way out of here. Another 2-run blast for St. Louis. Home run number 14 for Jose Martinez.
2-run shot here, his third RBI. Another multi-hit game for him, and there was no doubt about this. Got a breaking ball coming right down and into his swing, and he smoked it.
It ties his home run total from a year ago. 14. So Ozuna hits it out of play.
See if that changes the plans of bringing in Norris.
What do you think? If they get him hot, might as well just bring him in.
Yeah, I mean, he has a
Needs
pitch.
a little work.
He's had it's the 7th. He picked up his 22nd save in Miami.
Ball was crushed.
Oh, no doubt about that one.
First home run since June 30th for Martinez. Bouncer hit to third off the bat of Ozuna. Home runs aplenty in this series for the Cardinals. This one makes it 8-3, a no-doubter. Reaction of Yadier Molina. He knew it. All Cardinals now here in game number 2. Jordan Hicks still in the ball game, but Norris has had his seat. And Webb is throwing, the lefty for St. Louis. Got him up late after the home run was hit.
I see Norris is still there in case it becomes a save situation again.
Webb had 2 scoreless innings the other night in Miami. 0-1 pitch. And a little ground ball that's pulled foul. 0-2.
Just hope that Jordan Hicks was not told that you're out of this ball game and kind of shut it down mentally. But
that pitch in the dirt. And it's 1-2 now on Lucas Duda. Duda liner into right and a base hit.
He set up away and look at it all the way on the other side of the plate. See why they got Webb up. You got Duda left-hander, you got Herrera here, a switch hitter, Phillips left-handed, Hearn left-handed.
Here's a 1-0. Back to Hicks. Bobbled it. He'll get the out at first. And Duda to second with 1 down.
And he tried to throw it before he really caught it.
Earliest the Royals have dropped their 81st game in a season was back in 2002. Check that, 2005. And they have a chance to do that here tonight. It was August 17th in 2005. And tonight it's August 11th. So
yeah, they're on pace for the worst
yeah,
season ever. This is their 50th celebration, 50 years of Royals baseball. A's were the Kansas City A's, and Charlie Finley moved them out to the Bay Area, Oakland, and then it took a while, and really Ewing Kauffman was, they tried to make him buy a franchise and everything, and he said, I will if I get the business community to back me and help sell tickets. Formed what they called the Royal Lancers. But my first introduction really to Cardinal baseball was I came to Wichita, to play semi-pro baseball, and people at that time, they didn't even listen to the Royals. Matter of fact, the Royals don't even have a flagship station. It's not in Kansas City. It's in Topeka, Kansas. There's no Kansas City station wanted to. It was all Cardinal country.
nearly to the backstop. Good play by Molina.
I remember playing there, and the manager of the team would sit on his porch and listen to Cardinal baseball. Then the wagon trains went through. Catch that, Dan?
I got it. I was just waiting for more. 2-2 hit on the ground to Carpenter. And the Royals down to their final out.
Of course, it didn't help Kansas City fans when the A's never had a winning season here in 13 years.
Ryan O'Hearn, the final hope for Kansas City, looks at a strike. 103 on the gun from Jordan Hicks. Here's the 0-1 pitch in the dirt.
Jordan Hicks finishes this game, he'll qualify for a save.
And a ground ball hit up the middle. There's Kolten Wong with the backhand, and the Cardinals have done it. They take game 2. They've won 5 consecutive series, and they'll look for the sweep on Sunday. 8-3 the final.
Another convincing game, good all-around game, good starting pitching, great bullpen work. Hitting, score 8 runs, you're going to do that. Good fielding.
Post-game show is next.